I am testing out streaming again. This could be going live. I don't quite know. I know they're appearing on my channel, but I can't see the videos myself. Okay, this looks like it is working now, so that's cool. I'm just going to take a moment to post any links to wherever they need to go. So let's have a look at that. So I've put a link to ArtStation. I can see my live chat and stuff now. And I'm going to keep it on OBS. Or I'll be flicking between them. Right, so as you can see, I don't have Photoshop in my bottom bar, so I just made a quick thumbnail with Substance Designer. But we can ignore all that now. And what I should be making, as my scene, I made like a base rock that's being used on these. It doesn't really matter too much what they look like up close. I imagine a lot of my shots they're just going to be on a background area. The steps here are two. I think they're two. There's not enough steps. I don't know what they look like with a human on them, but let's have a look. Place that on this here. They are massive. Well, so I think the width is fine. I'm just gonna be putting a lot more steps in because that is pretty silly. I've got that, which is an issue. But overall, I think it's developing pretty nicely. This is mostly going to, so that's going to be resculpted for sure. I haven't done the rest of them thankfully, so there's not too much work there to do. Roof going to be changed, but I've been pretty lazy. I haven't done any work today. This live stream's only going to be about an hour long. And it's just going to be Substance Designer, so we'll see how far we get. I'm going to start off just keeping it inside this and just decide how I want to do this. I think I want to start with tile. This is cobblestone that I'm going to make, or I'm going to do an hour of, which is not going to be enough time at all. So I want these to be sort of even, hopefully. This tile random, I wonder if it can make even bricks. Otherwise I will use just a tile generator. Oops. Just a normal tile generator. Delete that. Yeah, normal one might do, depending on the offset settings. Let's see. Cobblestone. I've got the reference that they had, and I think I'm just going to follow that really. I don't think I'm going to do anything too far away from that. I do have quite a few, yeah, something along these lines maybe. I've got, as someone else pointed out, I've got reference here that is a bit more, I mean it's British, but it's a bit more knighty than Merlin-y. So Merlin being a wizard, this cave isn't exactly the kind of location that you would get. All those knights tiles, of course, but the reference is just tiles in general, or tiles from that time. So I still think it's pretty relevant, even though I'm not going to be doing the patterns. That's just how they did tiles at the time, I guess. Mostly just sticking to this. So I'll have that up on my other screen. And I will have an experiment with this one because I want it to be a little bit random, but not as random as. Well, I guess I don't really need it to be that random, so oh, that's weird. Why have I got that symbol? I can't. What's that? What's with that? It's locked. Ugh. Okay, well that's broken. Let me just reset the layout, see if that fixes it. Well, that's going to be annoying. Maybe it's because I imported those resources. Guess I'll have to deal with that, or I'll just close it and restart it. Do that real quick. Open up that cobblestone again, and yeah, now I've got the full movement again, which is what I want. Delete the resources folder, I don't really need it. That was just for that earlier. And okay, so we're on this. I want it to really be... I'm not bothered at the moment with this because I'm going to be using the tile, I'm going to be using the flood fill. So as far as pattern specific goes, I'm just going to bring that like that. Then I'm going to use the scale instead to just get those edges in. I'm not going to rotate it, although I will test how a safe transform works. So let's see. Because I don't know how they do with stuff like this. Oh, it does work. It's kind of cool. I thought there would be like a blending issue somewhere along here. But apparently not, so I could do it like that if I want. Maybe I will. Looking a little pixelated though. So what size am I on? I'm on 2K, so it shouldn't be that bad. Yeah, the edge detector is going to do it. Maybe I'll lower the amount of these. I'll tile it again later, maybe. Let's keep it on 10. So yeah, rotating it, it's no real need, but it's all right. Going to just start off with flooding it, and I'm just going to plug it straight in actually. Flood fill to slope gradient. Flood to gradient. Gradient. Yes. Angle variation. I'm going to blend that flood to random grayscale. And well, I like combining them with more, so I'm going to flood it to a random colour, so I've got them all in one, and then I'll RGBA split that so that I've got multiple channels. You know, it makes things just a little bit smaller. You're only using one node rather than doing like 5 nodes. It probably costs the same, but I don't know. I'm not planning on using this externally, so it'll just be to export the textures and then to leave. So it doesn't have to be super optimized. I just like doing it like that. And then slope here. If I combine this with so what I like doing is I'm going to distance this I'm going to get that one. So I found out that you can move these wires actually. So if I press Alt and Shift, you can move them, which is something that I never knew about. I'm going to distance that by that, copy this, and distance any one of them by that. And as you can see, that just closes up the gaps, because what I want from this is pretty much well, it's going to be a very thin gap, and what I'm going to do is I'll put that in again later, probably when I'm doing all the beveling and all stuff like that. I don't know, I'll come back for it. I want to see if this works first, because I like just having them super close, although it does cause issues if you're doing some displacement, which I shall do now. And if I blend this with just a normal mid-level sort of grey, actually if I histogram range, and in fact if I distance the correct one, so that into there, and this into there, so that when I'm splitting these off they haven't got the edge. And histogram range one of them, let's bring that right down, put that into my height and ambient occlusion in that. That's what we've got at the moment. Let's make this tessellation and plain high res. I like to put the height up to full height, full scale. And then I'm histogramming it anyway, so I can just lower that with this. Again, they are going to need slightly rounded edges, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to want to do that, but at the moment this just says like, so there's no, you can see that this is a scanned image, so, but you can see there's big gaps in some places, but I want that sort of super tight, closeness, so I'm just going to add in some thick and thin lines afterwards, just for a little bit of variation. I'm hoping this will work how it is. I'm going to blend via one of these, so I'll just go for the next one. I'm going to blend this gradient, and now we've got all kinds of craziness. And that's always pretty cool to see, and in fact, just to make that look a little bit better, I just got to turn the, because it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right when the displacement's so high and the normal's so low, but I'm not going that far with it, so I'm just going to put that to a high value just because I like seeing it, but I'm still going to be turning this down and having it as a very slight thing. And I still think that after this it's going to be histogram ranged even more, so I'm just doing it, it's going to be quite extreme in the viewport until I just shrink the values afterwards. But it should work. Let's give a bevel to this, and should be able to just bevel that. Distance. Smooth it. Oops, that's way too much. Some smoothing. See if I distance that now. What happens? Nothing, because it's not. So it's not the same. So apparently they don't distance. So I do want to combine this, but I don't want to have those massive gaps. Distance isn't working. Distance. Okay, if you do it the other way around, apparently that works. Well, I still haven't gotten very far with this actually. I kind of want some randomness to it, so offset, full, offset random, random seed. I don't like those. No, it's not working. Offset. Scale random, see what kind of problems that causes. So doesn't mind it at the moment. Do kind of I wanted them to be random tiles, like left to right, like that, random sizes. So let me get rid of the splitting on this. So no splitting. Okay, that works. Put it up to 10 like the other one. Oh yeah, that's going to be a lot better, I think. So no splitting. Ah yeah, see, this is the randomness I sort of want. I think it's maybe a little bit too much at the moment, but let's see what I'm going to plug this one in. Still a little bit too random. I only want it to be very subtle. Some of them different scales, and it's all getting sort of fixed afterwards. So I think, so again, what I'm planning on doing is I don't like, I want to make materials without the sort of grout between them. In this case, I just kind of want a very, the occasional line. So I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm planning on just having just very thin lines. But hopefully this will work. And now I want to blend this over, just like that. It's cool. Blend it again randomly, but maybe randomly. Oops, yeah, blend that with this. Give that a multiply. So we get loads of different. Now they're all at different, different rates. Histogram. Range that, and let's just make that a little bit higher. Wait, so the distance needs to be up, but the bevel I want to be pretty much. Ooh. I think that doesn't work. Oh, really, I want it. That doesn't work. Just blur it. It is more of a bevel, and then there's warping on them. Just give it a very thin bevel. Why is, oh, it's because I got my smoothing up too high, okay. It's only going to be subtle. I'm just trying to get it to fill in those. Just trying to get it to fill in the gaps a little bit more. Because at the moment I've got that going all the way a bit too crazy. But if I just applied it normally, I applied the bevel normally and I just made it very, very small, 0.01. Then there would be just a little bit of a gap in there. Well, I guess that's alright. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Should have just turned it down. Let's try it. Yeah, I prefer the super rounded one, so it's got a little bit of bevel in it. Yeah. Blur it a little bit more. It's just a slight thing that's going to be applied over it. I might just warp it a little bit as well. Actually, it should be that's on there, and then by one of those, so I'll grab another random one. Just warp it randomly, non-directional. Oh yeah, so let me let's try this. 2 bevels. One of them is slightly higher on the bevel, like the bevel's slightly longer. So that's 0.001. I'll just make this one like minus 0.01 or something. It's like 10 times more bevel, even though it's a very small number. And I'm going to blend them together. Let's go by min. Now the bevel amount's just like kind of random. Maybe I'll make that quite small so that it's just more random. So you're getting some of them that are just a lot deeper than others, all the way at different points. And we're still going to get that really sharp edge on there, so I do want to test just getting another one of these that's just like a lot cleaner. Or like an edge detect. Edge detect. There's a lot of big gaps in these. I don't think I would like that. I haven't tried it out, but if I skip these distance nodes, how do you do that again? You should be able to set some of these to pass through or like ignore. Pretty sure I can do that. I don't know if anyone is watching or if they know how to just make this node be a pass-through node, one that just is not linked up, one that's skipped. Skip. Oh well, I'll ignore that then. So getting that slight let's get this, let's just turn that smoothing all the way off, and okay, I guess most of that was coming in from the smoothing. Let's make that go outwards. I like 0.1, smoothing off. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So if I blend this on right now, that should just sort out some of those issues. Makes it look a little bit nicer. Again, if I do a similar thing like blending that with this one via this, but with it transformed differently, then some of them are going to get quite. I'm going to want this to be maximum multiply. Min. Okay, so we've got some randomness in there. So I want it to be min, I just want the range on that to be different. Really, I want the range on the whole thing just to be a lot more. It's really just going to be very subtle. And this should just be adding in the actual depth. So that looks a lot. So now I've got the sort of randomness, and it looks rounded, sort of like how I want. Like, I think that's the ideal situation right here, and that could work with some more like slope blurs than that. I kind of want it to be more. I do want it to be more smooth. So I don't know why that's so rough at the moment. You know, that's such a hard transition. It kind of looks stylized. Okay, so that one needs to be really sharp because that's just my, that's my harsh edge. But that also needs to be pretty harsh. It's that edge that I want to get rid of, that's super sharp. I want this to blur inwards. And I can just blur it. So blur it and levels it just to bring it back out. Bring the range back up on that because I'm not seeing any detail. But I'll bring the range up on this but down on this. That's all. Oh no, wait, it's down on that, isn't it? So I don't mind it being up on that. Another histogram range after this, just to lower it. And I'll put it back up to full, so we're getting that full randomness. I think this is pretty cool as a, this could work as a stylized, I didn't mean to make it stylized because it hasn't got any detail on it at the moment, but I think that could work, you know, without that much gradient, but it could work as stylized stuff. Just a little bit of gradient. Go back to the reference. I think it is working, I just think I need to do something else with it, I don't know. That harsh edge is just not what I want. That's like the stylized bit. But could work. Not really. So things are all going to change when I start slope blurring the slopes. So I'm working on a very small range at the moment just because that's how it should look. But equally I could apply all these at full strength and then histogram range it afterwards. So I could just try that out now, get rid of all these. Put them in full strength, and full strength, and then histogram range that instead. Should be pretty much a similar result. I'll keep that one in. Shall I? And then, rather than doing that, I'll just do it the normal way, and if I don't want it, then I'll just... keep that one in. And yeah, that's all my gradient. I've also used it for my offset, so I'm going to replace my foreground for, yeah, let's go. Replace that for just a really low range. Because I should, yeah, because I'm multiplying it over that with so, yeah, multiplying over it again, histogram ranging it again. Yep, that multiply. It's more like it. Slow cough. Okay, so I'm getting some that are just blending right into each other. But okay, let's give this a slope blur. Start getting into the smaller details. I'm going to open up my one that I had last time. In all its craziness. So that's sort of my final result from last time. And I'm going to drag that in. Got this mask here that's generated from that. And let's see if that's too noisy for this. Gotta blur it. Auto levels it. Set to min at the moment. That is what I want, I think. Since this range is up, we can see what's going on. Is it possible to intercalate lines of large and small bricks? Okay, samples up. These little, don't mind some of that. Still going to get blended randomly with the original. This is range. So if I just bring this blur down a little bit, too much. Make that one the base and this one the top. So I'm going to change this a little bit, I think, and I will get rid of that there. I'd rather blend it here. We'll go min, no, that's why, multiply. Now it's looking a lot more weird. Histogram range. Set that randomly. Maybe I don't want it to be, oops. Maybe I don't want it to be blurred, so I'm going to start that again, but randomize that. It's going to get smoothed off anyway, so at this point, I think. Wait, so that one was. What was like? This one was just the edges. thickness for edges. That one's the roundness. So. Still needs flattening out a little bit. They need to be much flatter. So if I skip that. Oh. Okay, skip that. Make that much smaller. Let's have the multi-directional warp. Multi-directional warp. Just hit that one and nope. Not really what I want. I've got the nice detail in there, but for some reason it's... okay, I think I'll blur it slightly. Or I'll take the blurred version. Okay, no, that's too blurred. I'll blur my own version. Like 0.01. try slope blurring it. I will slope blur it before to make it. Oh. Okay, blur it before the tile. Slope blur it before the tile. Make it tile. A little bit better. Directional. What was the other warp? Uniform. Just trying stuff out. Is it not very English? Not very good. I will use translate. I asked if it was possible to intersperse long brick lines with shorter brick lines. I'm right back at the start here. I tried some different stuff to do with different thickness of brick lines. I went with the tile random so that I can get just like some random, so I can get random sizes is one thing, so some of them are slightly longer than others, and then all that sort of stuff's going on. So but if you really wanted to like get some proper random, more random even, then you could add these splits in, which will make it just, you get some short lines, get some long lines, and it's a lot more random. For me, I did it like that, and then since then I've just been messing around. I hope that answers the question, to my knowledge. And we're on copy at the moment for this. What I'm going to do is subtract, I think, and we'll make that like 0.01 at the moment. Okay, bring it up. We're hitting the bottom there, so I'm going to invert it and min it, I guess. That will work better. Okay, not minning. Multiply. It's going to lower it a lot if it's not. Auto levels there. It's got a lot of detail. that kind of works. Really got to do something about those. Let's blend them. I'll blend that back over. Right there. Square things up back to that. Edge detect. Nope, I do want it to be random. Let's go edge detect on one of these. Do a little bit of roundness. Bring some roundness in and blend it with another one as usual. I don't want it to be on every corner, I just like blending things randomly via. That's not being used at the moment, so maybe that would be a good opportunity to. Since that's not being used and it's barely being used. Okay, if I blend that over right at the end, should really bring in those gaps. So that's pretty cool. So now there's no excuse for there to be any issues as far as that's concerned. There's definitely gaps between them all now. Yeah, so that's my rock noise that I made from last week. I was working on some rock noise. I think, you know, you get some of it, get some stuff like this all over the place. It does just need some of that more smooth detail. Just got to work on that. I was planning on using the same one. Maybe I shouldn't blur it there. And so I was hoping, you know, so I think that looks pretty cool. But I think I'll go with, instead of blurring it there, keep it sharp, and go with like a, some of them much deeper than others, which is causing some issues. So that's too random at that point, so I'm going to histogram range it here, and then stop histogram ranging it here. I think that's a good noise, I just don't know how I want to use it. Yeah, I definitely think that's a good noise. Let's blend one of these randoms. So that's what we've got there. I'm going to blend it with an offset. Let's see what other noises I've got. My curve. I got that. That's not useful at the moment. So all that. The height on this. Is that the height? Okay, no, it's not. That's the height. Yeah, that mask. That's good. Seagulls. Make that tile. Random seed it. Use subtract from this. Choose the first one. Doesn't matter that much. Subtract. Something else. That's why I got histogram range, because it's just too much. Okay, put that back over. I think that's working alright. Oh yeah, that's why I need that in there as well, because it still does it per brick. So I do not want that. Let's do that. And now it's different per brick. And blur it maybe. Slope blur it. So it goes crazy. Ah yes, okay, I'm going to really make the width a lot. Really get in some horizontal detail. I think I've got the detail there. I just need so now that's bringing in like a folded sort of look to it, which I think is getting some of the right sort of shapes. Should probably do them before I warp it, as usual. So I just keep that sharp edge. So that's random per brick. If that's sort of the micro noise detail, which again for some reason is really not coming in on some of these, but I guess that's okay. Maybe I'll just keep it like that, but I'll... Okay, it's got the micro. It's got the slope blur. Maybe I want to put it in before the slope blur. So we get... So I might want to put it in here as a noise. Okay. Let's put it over the top of that. Yeah, see, that's giving this some of that. I'm gonna min, I think. No. multiply. It's getting too low. Just auto levels. I've got to come off this in a second, so I won't be live streaming much longer. But let's get this on and auto levels again. And blended via one of those. So it's not, so now we're only getting on some of them. And then that's getting slope blurred. And then that's getting blended. Fairly randomly. So I think that's all looking pretty good. Till this point where it sort of destroys that information. So auto levels. What happens if I get shadows on this or something like that? Or just ambient, get the ambient occlusion at that point. Or curvature. Suppose that with some variations you can achieve a wall finish of marble tiles or any other type of decorative stone, make it look very easy, but is a mess for a novice like me. Yeah, I mean, this is specifically geared towards some of this detail. I think one of the main things that I'm lacking is on a lot of these stones are more warped. So I might just actually the final few things that I'm going to do before ending this live stream is it's still geared towards that texture. The last things I want to do is get something like that. I might just want to going to warp this slightly. Warp. My noise here is very directional. No, it's not. And still blend it with the old one for the straight lines. So I can probably bring that all the way to like 10. It's pretty crazy, maybe down a little bit. Blend it with the old one. And this is really getting out of hand over here. But I just want to grab a less used one and just bring that into there. See what difference that makes. Maybe not. Maybe not with that. Maybe just a min. And then I can turn this up. Maybe I'll just use it as is. It's too random. Blend it with something like that. I think that's right. Yeah, you can see it. Still there. Still there. Maybe I just want to put levels in or something. Just actual levels. That's better. Putting the through a high pass node, and then let's get rid of that. It's everywhere now. Don't want that. Let's see. Everything gets a little bit noisy. Still want to blur that randomly, some non-uniform blur, and then I'll just get an extra noise now. Non-uniform blur by that, probably, that'll do. If I levels it, where did I put that? Non-uniform blur on that noise. I levels that now. And just really bring out some of that dark areas so that it's not getting blurred everywhere. And intensity down. Back to this, because I really just want to levels it after that then. Maybe if I get rid of the one before, doesn't make a difference. Yeah, and I'll levels it now. So that wasn't meant to be plugged into that. That can still be random. This was meant to be plugged into that. Bring that down. And I think I'm adding that in there, so I think I just want to really make that more warped with this. So something going on with this. I would make it tile. Oops. And then I really need to come off this. Just try and get that warpiness into it. Maybe I'll just blend it over the top. Oh yeah, that helps. That helps a lot. So yeah, I think that's what I was missing. Alright, I'll end it there. So very cool, thank you very much guys, anyone that stopped by, anyone that watched this will be on my channel afterwards. Still got plenty more to do with this, and you can see how crazy it's got, but I think it's got pretty good result. I really want it to be subtle, so I'm going to be, all this stuff that I've put on there to make it look how it does now, I'm really going to be turning that down off stream and all that. I'm going to make it down to pretty much nothing, so because it's really going to be subtle. I want it to be sort of shiny, so we'll see how this all works. But I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.